Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spiritual Journey podcast. My name is Nimesh Radia, and I'm your host. I always love by just starting saying thank you. I feel so very blessed with this podcast, the people it's reaching, the impact it's having. My intention when I started it was to simplify spirituality and guide people on this journey. And I feel so blessed with the emails, messages, DMs I get on a weekly basis. So thank you for everyone that's supported. Thank you for everyone that helps. I do feel it's guided, so thank you. My name is Nimesh Radia, and I'm an Akashic record reader, Akashic trainer, podcast host, podcast creator, as well as a spiritual coach and mentor. And I love guiding people to become their authentic selves, release the layers they've been holding on to, kind of guide people as they're going through maybe an awakening, a shift. I feel like so many of us are going through something, and our spiritual side is awakening in an interesting sort of way. And I get to guide people on a daily basis. And through the records, through the mentorship program, through the podcast, through so many ways. So I'm feeling very blessed. I feel like the energy is shifting, and let's talk about it today. But the beauty of this podcast is I get to interview some amazing guests, and I'm excited to have Emilie on our podcast today. And I'd love for her to introduce herself. Over to you.
Hello, Nimesh. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and to share whatever needs to be shared. I am a quantum therapist and I transmit ascension techniques, DNA activations, and initiations into diverse healing modalities and quantum modalities. And I assist with great pleasure in the divine sovereign feminine embodiment. That is one of my passions, as well as other techniques as well. But I guess we come back to that.
Sounds beautiful. Sounds amazing. I'd love for you to share. For me, the current energy feels like it's really shifting, and we talked a little bit about it before starting, but it feels like, for me, it feels like a shift the planet's been planning for centuries, and it's kind of divinely timed. You mentioned the divine feminine. I feel like we're moving from divine masculine to divine feminine, and every soul that's here has chosen to be here during this kind of expansive time. I'm curious, what are you finding with your clients and current energy? What are you feeling?
Absolutely. We have chosen, that's my belief as well. This is what I see and feel. We have chosen to be here at this time to support the process, what we call ascension process. For me, it's frequency ascension process, consciousness ascension process. And I do feel a strong pull towards the sovereign divine feminine, the divine feminine energy to be embodied more and more within each of us, men, women, because we are growing tired of, we have grown actually already tired of all that push and pull and that the overpowering masculine energy, which has been trained into us, which have been, of course, indoctrinated into us for centuries, for lifetimes. So sometimes we don't really see the full impact of this imbalance, masculine feminine imbalance, because it's mostly, the imbalance is mostly integrated within the traumas and within the belief system we have. So from time to time, it's needed to really have that little wake up call and seeing, having maybe a little bit of information about what is the divine feminine really, what is it really, and what is the healed masculine really, and how can we harmonize these two so that they can flow easily and effortlessly with each other, helping us to be who we are meant to be here at this time on Earth.
So can you expand on, kind of, for me, all of us have, feminine, masculine, and it's really for whether you're male or female, it's about finding the balance between the two. But I'm curious, what's your take on, connecting with the divine feminine? How do you do that? How do you guide others to do that? What would you advise us to do if we wanted to connect more with the divine feminine in us?
Connecting with the divine feminine within us is to give a space, give space to it, give presence to it. The divine feminine it's the subtle energy, it's the energy of the void. I see it as the river. So if I always give this image of a river, the water in the river, the water in the shore. So the water, the flow, the water knows that she is flowing into the ocean. She knows she's gonna get there. She doesn't really care when and how. She's going there and she's having fun and she is knowing. She's in that deep knowing. And the shore of the river is, I see as the masculine, giving direction to the river, leading it where it should go, putting stones in the middle so that water can play and become even more joyous. So this collaboration of the feminine and masculine, for me, the feminine is the being, it's the presence. The masculine is the direction, is the focus. And we do need both, and we want both. Yet, because we have learned mostly how to be in the masculine, the feminine it has been suppressed, it has been weakened within each of us.
No, I love the way that you described that. So it's the feminine in us is the flow, the river as it kind of flows through, kind of is the freedom, and the masculine kind of is the outside, is holding space. I love it. Actually, that's a really good way of describing it. So
You can use it.
yeah, no, it's beautiful. I'd love to know more about your story. So you've clearly been through a lot in your life, and to become this healer that you are today, and to using the modalities and gifts that you have. Anything you want to share about your story and what you've been through?
Well, how have I become who I'm today? It has been a colorful story, I would say. If I was a movie director, I would be quite satisfied because there are a lot of unexpected shifts, which of course I've created myself. And this water in me wanted to flow wild. So I have lived in different countries and I have changed careers. I have a background in information science. So my childhood, incredibly, very intuitive. I was born very sensitive, which everybody told me that was not a good thing. So of course I tried, like many of us, tried to conform. And with all the messages I had as a child, I did calm that down, and I really tried to conform, which was really difficult. And the sensitivity remained. So my life wasn't easy for a long time, as I felt, easily hurt and easily disappointed. And but at the same time, I was really drawn to scientific path. When I say scientific, maybe it's a big word, but more of path of a discovery. So I studied information science, and I learned how to search information and how to manage knowledge. So I worked within the field of knowledge management and then leadership development. And since I was drawn to working with people, and intuitively I understood what they are going through, and I wanted to help, I went into coaching and executive coaching and group development, group training, and so on. So that was the first part of my life, aside of having 2 children also. many times I was a single mother. I was, alone with them. So it was working and the children and so on. So life wasn't always easy. And at some point, I just said, I was 40 years old. I thought I challenge people to do their best. I challenge people at work to live the life of their dreams. And I felt like part of me was dying, was tired. I was overworked a little bit, exhausted, and asking myself, is that it? Is this how I'm gonna go for the rest of my life? And so I got the calling. I just put the question out there, and I got very quickly the answer from my team, my galactic team. I know today, and go and open a gallery in south of France. I had no idea how to manage a gallery. I had no idea how to sell art. I loved art because art for me was is inspiration from the divine. So art for me is really energetics speaking to people in one way or another, and messages and encodings. So yeah, I said, all right, I'll do so. I'll just pack my car. Got one child with me. Another one was old enough to stay, and she wanted to stay in Denmark. And I came to France, opened the gallery, had it for some time. Then that art events and luxury properties, collaborating with real estate agencies. So I lived very, you would say, in a way, grounded life, if you can call it, here in the south of France, French Riviera, grounded. but it was as still, I had a child to raise, and I can see today it was my breathing time. It was kind of something in between, with very pleasurable occupation, I would say, because I loved meeting with artists, and I love meeting with people who appreciate art, and I was very passionate, talking about art, and then again at some point I got a call saying, no, now is the time to get back full time to what you're here really for. So again, starting from scratch, I would say, and do what I do today. It was not really completely from scratch, I would say, because throughout my lifetime, I was guiding people and I was healing, and I was always interested in metaphysics, which is one of my passions. And still calling the UFOs come and take me, which they never did. They just said, no, you stay here. You're not coming
yeah.
out.
Yeah, I get that. I can definitely empathize with not feeling like I belong and wanting to be taken away. There's been moments for sure, but we chose to be here. It's acceptance. It's important.
To be here, yeah.
So you mentioned a few times that you've kind of got a calling, to open the gallery, to kind of dedicate yourself to healing. What does that look like for you? I mean, what would your advice be to one? What does it look like for you, and what would your advice be to others who are trying to connect with their guides and kind of hear their messages?
So I've been always interested in intuition, and in the beginning, I was actually when I wrote my thesis at the university, it was about decision making, intuition and decision making in organizations, which was 30 years ago or so. That time it wasn't really very, well seen, I would say. But so my interest in intuition used to be quite theoretical in that sense. I was always I knew I have it. I knew I listened to my intuition, but I had I wanted to prove something. I wanted to see, so what is this about? And first later on, I really got more integrated that sense of what intuition really is and how it really feels. And for me, the call, it's today is really about getting silent, getting quiet, and listening. Because the mistake many people make, they ask and ask, but they never really get quiet to listen the answers, because that is in our time now, in our society where we live, is the problem of distractions. There's always something to do. There's always a movie to watch. There is always, some kind of anything else to do than really get the time to sit down and get quiet.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, it's of course it's also about raising your frequency. So this is, what I work with. It's about knowing how to get into the space where you are unbiased, where you are non-judgmental, when you are ready to receive higher guidance.
And I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, getting silence, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that will say, well, I've tried to get silence. And, my mind is too busy. I guess what I would say to that is it is a muscle, right? I mean,
yeah,
some of us have been doing it, all our lives, and maybe it's easy, but it's just, you've got to do something. For me, you've got to do something repetitively for at least 21 days to kind of create something different in you. And I always recommend sitting in 10-minute silence. Just start with 10 minutes. Everyone has 10 minutes, right? And if you're saying to yourself, I've got 10 minutes, well, start with 5. But I would challenge you to find 10. But just sit in that silence. If a thought comes in, let it come, let it go. Because what we do is we get annoyed with ourselves. We try and sit in silence and it's like, can't even do it for 30 seconds. Look at me. And you start judging yourself. Don't do that. Be kind to yourself. And the thing with listening to your intuition, again, the advice I'd give is, for me, my intuition, my messages are normally lighter. That's why I record an episode about whispers, because for me, sometimes the messages are whispers. They don't need to talk loud. If you're hearing loud messages, loud emotional messages, that's probably from your ego. So, just be gentle with yourself. I like to call the 10-minute silence my time. So give yourself time to really train. And, they say that, praying is asking for what you want. Meditation is listening. And, spend time for you. Spend time in your energy, your vibration. If you struggle to spend time with you, then that normally means there's some healing ready to come through. Allow it to come through. Would be my advice.
Beautiful.
So tell me what you obviously went through a journey after the gallery, and you started to kind of connect with different modalities, and the reason I'm asking, I feel like a lot of people are starting to connect with different modalities. And for me, like Akashic Records, the modalities I use, they're modalities that I have on the shelf when I need to heal myself or heal others. My gifts is my vibration, my energy, my light. And that's what I always advise people is you're the gift. So if you want to learn modalities, if you feel called to, then 100% do it. But don't let it define you. Yes, I'm an Akashic record reader, but it's not who I am. It's what I do. So I'm curious, what guided you to the modalities that you're using today? Was it a calling? Was it a feeling? Did you get training, or did you feel like you were guided to it through a different way?
It was definitely, I was guided to each and every one of them. And the guidance, for me, it's attraction. It calls me. It's calling me in. Whenever I get this interest, this I need to explore more, and this I would love to actually learn how to do. For me, that is the guidance. Our guides speak to us in different ways. For me, I'm predominantly claircognitive, so clair knowing. So I just know. very much. I mean, that's really my biggest one. Then of course I do have others, but the passion in, you know, daily life where you don't even have much, if you don't have much silence, you have that passion. And what really draws me, what do I really want to do now? What's really my passion now? And I remember that was the Merkaba, for example, you know, the modality which I teach. For me, one of the most efficient tools to ascension today, and self-healing and sovereignty. And that was the same. I just knew for a long time, sacred geometry, of course, the knowledge of it. But then, you know, Merkaba, the light body, I mean, of course, activating light body, it made complete sense. How do we do it? How do we do it the most effective and efficient way? We don't have lifetimes to train it. We need to, you know, hurry up. So when I was researching Merkaba and you know, then created my own, you would say, way to activate it, which is absolutely wonderful and life-changing. It was a passion, like all the other modalities. It's a burning passion in me.
So what would your advice be to somebody who is maybe feeling disconnected, but actually feel like they're going through a shift and feel like they are kind of going through some rebirth and they're trying to be present? Sure, we talked about being silent, but what would you advise somebody to be? Because if I feel like a lot of people are going through this shift, and I feel like some of us have to be the bridge, and kind of guide people and let them know there's a way. But do you have any advice for somebody that maybe is going through a shift, can feel things are changing inside and around them, is making them feel uncomfortable? Maybe they're all trying to hold on to their old self. Any advice you have for them?
For me, the shift, we are all going through the shift, and we are all, you know, finding our own bridge from where we are and where we want to be or to go, which we don't even know what is on the other side. You know, so we go through this path where it's really not easy, because we need to deal with the traumas, with the stored, you know, but both our own created from this lifetime, but then of course based on the ancestral traumas which are in our DNA, you know, encodings and shows in very subconscious level, which means that, you know, often we don't even know we have them and feel that we are failing in certain aspects of life again and again and again. And it's really not easy. And what I would say, if you feel like acquiring, you know, some of the modalities, that's great. I mean, for me, when I mention Merkaba, it's because I always mention Merkaba, the light body activation, because that is really a very quick way to the sovereign healing, to the sovereign advancement, to the ascension, to higher dimensional realities. But if you don't, yes, it's just being in life from moment to moment. And I know it's just so easy to say, because then there are, you know, the worries and things for the future and what am I going to do. But as we know, most of our fears, most of our worries, they never materialize. Actually, it's the the bigger issues that come into our life. They come always, you know, they find us unprepared. So I would say being there from moment to moment and laugh as much as possible. Watch stand-up comedy, dance crazily when nobody's watching you, just doing anything else than staying in the struggle. And again, I know it's not easy because it takes sometimes as if heroic amount of energy to get ourselves out there and do something else than we normally do. But we do need to kind of interrupt the whether it's the fearful train of thoughts or feeling exhausted, or we do need to interrupt it with our discipline as well. Say, no, I know this is not going to bring me where I really want to be. So can I do something here and now? And maybe it's just, go for a walk or put some really good music on.
I love it. I love it. Great advice. And, this shift that we're going through, I'm sure for a lot of people feels really daunting. And it's like, when you listen to us and listen to podcasts, our intention isn't to make things sound easy. We get the shift can be challenging, but my advice would be just pick one thing. If it's the 10-minute silence, this journey, this human journey is meant to be fun. So, as Emily said, maybe put some music on and dance crazy, maybe just laugh, and because we have become very serious, and I get it, right? There's so much going on and so much pain in the world, and but if you let the pain in the world consume you, then how are you going to shine your light? So my advice is pick one thing today. Pick one thing that can lift your soul. And if you really want to go out there, pick two things. Maybe the 10-minute silence and kind of giving yourself that time, but also to dance more, to laugh more, whatever that looks like. Because the spiritual journey is meant to be an experience. It's meant to be fun. It doesn't have to be serious. And actually, when you talk about the macabre, it's really interesting because for me, Archangel Metatron is the keeper of the Akasha. That's just kind of how I feel. And I connect to the Akashic records all the time. And, the macabre symbol is, I see it all the time in the records, and, connected to Metatron. It's just, it's just a beautiful energy and a beautiful vibration. So I wanted to mention that. It's just, Metatron has guided me to a lot of deep spaces. And I feel like he watches over me. I feel like he, he's been on the human plane, so he understands our existence so much more. So I love it. Thank you for that reference.
Thank you.
So I'd love for you to talk about, so how do you guide clients through this? What is a typical, anything, obviously don't share personal details, but if somebody was looking for guidance, and what would that look like if they were working with you?
I'm so fortunate. I have very, variety of cases, if I can say cases, people with different issues coming to me, and because I have so many tools, I would say I can pick what is appropriate, what is really needed, and it's very, I choose on very, it's intuitive. It's today, I would say I don't choose. It's not really me choosing. It comes in the session and chooses itself. And I know that of course it's my team working with me. So so I let it. Today I have enough trust to them and myself and the cosmic order that I let it unfold. So, and I'm always, so grateful and surprised that it was the right healing, it was the right guidance, it was the right, that you see people coming in with the troubles and leaving with smile on their face, and then sending, update about changes in their lives. So it's not me, actually. I have to say it's the collaboration. I'm the vessel. I'm the channel for the healing, for the words, for the meditations, for everything. But I'm not the choosing one. So when guiding people, it's guiding, it's my team guiding, and I'm open to that. And the only thing perhaps which is my branding or me in there is humor
Beautiful.
and lightness of that. So really, that is probably what I contribute.
Beautiful.
Mm.
And what's your feeling for what the planet's going through? I mean, we talked about before about the calmness you feel inside and kind of where you feel right now. But what's your take on the craziness on the planet? For me, I talk about it all the time. I feel like the planet has to go through the shift, and it has to be in this sort of intense kind of way, just like we're going through a shift. But how are you finding the energy of the planet, and how do you make sure that whatever the planet's going through doesn't affect your energy?
So for me, I not many people like that. Not everybody likes that when I say it. I find it fascinating, the process. I'm excited to be here, and
I agree.
in both good and bad. It's not always. I'm not always just happy and shining. Of course, I have my days which are maybe more heavier than others, but I'm really happy to be here in that sense of it's fascinating process, and this fascination, this what I always advise my clients also to say, if somebody is challenging them, can you see these people with that approach? How fascinating that somebody can be so rude. How fascinating that this can happen. Because this fascination, in a way, brings it to yet another level and saying, okay, this is not bad. This is not necessarily good. It's fascinating. It makes me curious. So this curiosity, where does it bring us? Where does it guide us? Where am I at? How do I react to all this? So being curious about the triggers. How does this trigger? What does this trigger in me? Which means what needs to be healed in me? What is still there? Yeah,
How powerful. Can I keep going?
yeah. What is still there that wants to be seen, so that I can transmute it, transform it, so that I don't have to drag it with me to higher vibration, because I can't actually access the higher realms with the baggage which is low vibrating. So being grateful for every trigger showing, seeing, okay, interesting, there is still something here.
I love it. I love it. And I agree. The way I try and look at it is I'm always going to be a student. So it means that if something happens to me, I'm going to get curious. And I remember my mentor used to say, when you get triggered by something, get excited. I don't know if I'm there yet, but I do understand it's an opportunity for me to heal. It's a message for me to look inside rather than outside. And, it's when you get triggered, you are ready to heal something. I guess that's always a good message to kind of take in and take. Oh, I just took a gap to cough, but go on, you were going to say.
And it is also that, the triggers, the looking within, what does it do to me, this reaction or this person, or so what do I feel, is that is this divine feminine approach, looking within. What can I do? What is this saying about me, about my journey, about my body, about my feelings and sensations, rather than the masculine that looks outside? How can I fix this? Whom can I confront, if there is, or what can I change, in the outside? So yeah, it all comes together.
Yeah, and the other thing that I feel like we're all struggling with is, awareness is always the first step, right? And listen to the episodes like this makes you aware that you chose to be here. It makes you, kind of aware that your triggers are helping you. Everything in the external world is a result of the internal world. And but awareness on its own, I feel like where we're struggling is acceptance. Acceptance that we chose to be here on this planet, acceptance that whatever our triggers are, whatever we're going through, it's a choice. For me, that choice gives you power. It means that you can choose something else. But again, do you have any advice for anyone that kind of does feel like life is overwhelming, that, it's easy to listen to us guys, we have it different. For anyone that's kind of feeling like the world is against them and on top of them, whatever that feels like, and I'm sure you've been there at times, what advice would you give in terms of to find balance in you?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a popular advice, but it's for me, this acceptance of the life, we've chosen to be here, just is this taking that responsibility. It is my choice, and actually everything I do and I say and I think and I feel is my responsibility. It's my choice. It's not what is happening around me, it's what is within me. And if we don't see that and take it in, we are staying in that victimization paradigm. And I don't think anybody wants that. It is a state of victimization. It's not me, it's everything outside. So taking really that power back, taking that sovereignty is needed to make that shift and to actually acknowledge that victim in me who is feeling sorry for myself, or who feels I can't, I don't have that power, I don't have that strength, I don't have this, I don't have that. Okay, I might feel like that, and it's okay. But is there some tiny little thing I can do right now so that I can take a little bit of that power back? Just accepting that, okay, I have created this. Because nobody wants to be a victim. Nobody really wants to look at yourself as, oh, I'm victim. Oh, no, I don't like that really, because, that's a little bit pathetic. I want to be the powerful one.
Yeah, gently, I would say you are everything in the external world is a result of something in your internal world. So you do have the power to change. And, what you focus on expands. If you focus on the pain that you're going through, if you focus on, kind of what's not working, then your guys will be like, oh, he or she wants more of that. And that's what they'll give you. So, and it's not easy. I get it. But you have to do something that you haven't done before. Einstein would say, the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing, expect a different set of results. So do something different. Realize that you're going through a shift, and maybe go out and spend more time in nature. You have to do something different. You have to, as Emily was saying, you have to break the pattern. You have to do something different. So, but realize that you're a powerful being. That's always the first thing. Is for me is to accept that I'm in control. Everybody that is around me is playing the roles I asked them to play, and there's a lot of power in that. And it's a journey. Be kind to yourself. So as we close out this episode, and I'm sure we can talk for hours, I'd love anything that it's in your heart that you want to share as we close out, anything that you feel is going to help the listener. I will include your details in the show notes, but anything you want to share, please share.
Yes, as you say, anything that is in my heart, and there is in my heart is my heart. I do. I'm very grateful for the heart connection that I have created, both for myself and with my clients, with the people around me, always guiding them to their own heart connection, to really go within through your heart, as your heart is your portal to to your knowing, to your intuition as well, portal to the communication with your cells, with the atoms of your body, and portal, to of course to the cosmic vastness. So sharing through the heart and with the heart. And that is for me, if that was the only modality I would ever want people to acquire, is to spend some time to connect with and really profoundly learn how to communicate with your heart, how to be with your heart, how to be in your heart. Because then the authentic sovereign self can flourish much easier.
I love it. Our heart is so powerful. There's so much energy and vibration there. And, if we could, why do we feel like sometimes we need to protect our heart? Heart doesn't need protecting. So I love that. So I will include your details in the show notes. If anybody wants to reach out to Emilie, please do. Also include my details. If anything I said resonates, you can book a free discovery call. I'll take you through what I do. I'm just sending everyone so much love and light. This is an interesting time to be on the planet. And if you can hear my words, I'd say that your guides really do love you. They really do want to support you. They are holding your space like never before, but are you allowing them to? Be kind to yourself and do something for you. Spend time in nature. Allow the beauty of what's around you to truly come inside you. Sending everyone so much love and light. Thank you for being here. And Emilie, I'm going to hand it over to you to close us out.
Thank you. Thank you, Nimesh. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye for now.